is going to be surviving here. Once again. Oh, why, Ice? Why?
Well played by Psg.Ldg to spot that, but that was just a little cocky from my side.
That was so greedy. You son of a bitch, you deserve that.
Psg.Ldg, they finally get on the board. It only took 9 minutes. But yeah, I mean, you ask about EG's playstyle. I honestly don't feel like they've changed much since like TI8.
Okay, sure.
It still feels like at the end of the day, you know, you've got Arteezy, and a lot of the time their lineups are engineered to help him succeed. I think this is, they killed Flying. How did he go down? Did he leap or swoop to?
Yeah, he might have got plinked by battery assault as he attempted to go for an Icarus dive, and he ends up dying. Now, I guess they did do an Alchemist draft, but I remember they had that safe lane Razor in the first game against LGD. I'm looking at the draft now, but Viper, Puck, Razor, right? Like, what a leaning focus draft that is. And I feel like DK, Bat Rider, Lina, like, that's a similar vein of thought.
Yeah, I can see it. It makes sense, too, in the patch right now. Feels like if you get that early tower lead and take a laning advantage, it's just easier to play. Especially when you have stuns. Of course, EG have quite a few. I think
gets it. Faith Beyond managed to deny the mid tower. The unfortunate part for them is they do give up their mid tower.
Yep.
It's 10 minutes in.
Another thing EG's done that I like at Psg.Ldg, the same story. They always have a way to farm Ancients. It feels like you can end up, especially in a farm-heavy game like this, very limited if you don't have somebody that can take Ancient stacks, or at least clear them on spawn.
That was something that AUI and I were talking about from last game. The fact that TNC lacked a way to be able to do Ancient stacks or fly. Oh, nice job by XinQ drawing the aggro onto himself from Roshan. They didn't have a way to clear Ancient stacks or do Roshan.
Yep.
And it feels like both are a requirement for this current meta.
I haven't checked since they changed certain gold bounties, but it used to be that until the extra creep wave or creep started spawning, Ancients were the most efficient usage of time and damage per gold bounty.
Yep.
I believe waves are close, and then when you start getting the extra creep spawns, they become even more valuable, which is another reason I think these high mobility bots heroes are coming back, because after 30 minutes, if you can just clear side lanes quickly, it's ridiculous amount of gold, especially because it also scales up with time now.
Which is in part why it's so important to, for some lineups, try and take control of the map as soon as possible. Arteezy needs to try and help Fly here. XinQ is okay.
Calculated.
Calculated indeed. XinQ used the hook shot to get away.
Yeah. And the one downside, though, you know, Abed now with the bots built, also casual windlace and the brooch, so about as fast as you can get. Effie was saying you don't want to play this support duo against Bat Rider pretty much ever, so they can't deal with them, and they're going to need to be in range of the Omni Knight to feel secure. So look for Abed to start positioning himself a bit more offensively. Looks like he's going to bottle the Invis rune. Probably look to get aggressive. Ursa closing in on the defusal.
Now, yeah, despite the early towers being taken, LGD has kept the net worth chart even because of the way of how efficient they are farming. Both the Empower, the Ursa, and hitting Ancients, Fly.
Oh, no.
He's I think he tried to trick him out there. They're going to assume he flew to the left here, but that's not actually the case. Hopefully he doesn't show himself. Yeah, he's good. He might just be able to find... No. Not going to risk it. I was going to say, you can stay here, get a little bit more experience, but no.
That's the right move. He's just trying to get level 6. Fly very under-leveled, but this is what we've seen, again, for what feels like a couple of years since he even came onto the team. Fly, one of the more sacrificial style of 5 players, and oftentimes his XP lags significantly behind the rest of his team.
Nice catch by XinQ. They're going to be able to kill Crit here unless Ice can do something about it. He's going to go ahead and stun up the Omni Knight before the Purification nuke can come in. Faith Beyond gets burned down. XinQ is unable to do much else either. They both die in their attempt and success in killing the Lina. But it's going to cost them 3 heroes. Y is also going to be chased down.
Yeah, I like what he has. You see, the Perch Creep was what he was playing with. Very effective against Bat. You can always be removing the stacks. But this is when I think maybe you'd expect Psg.Ldg to come online a bit faster, but EG looking to take control. They have the Blink Dagger up, choosing to go with the Breathe Fire instead of the Stun, perhaps just for the extra bit of damage boost. MC exclusively maxing Stun first, so be curious to see the reasoning behind both players.
Maybe it comes back to wave clear as well, like you were talking about before. Abed not going to be able to get nothing to say. Nice blink reaction by him.
Yeah, very close game. I don't know. Do we see much mid-mag? Another hook.
Another long-range hook. This one with the purification nuke, again, killing crit.
Yeah, that's the item. A recipe away. Oh, nice TP in. Is there anyone else here?
Nice use of the glyph, yes, but...
Okay. Just want the arcane.
Apparently that was all for an arcane rune.
Mid players, especially from NA. I remember before they changed the initial glyph, it was exclusively used on the first wave in every single North American pub.
Yeah.
And God forbid you did it in the side lane cap. Oh, Quinn would... He's going hard on Twitter immediately. Couldn't stop him.
Manta almost done for Arteezy, it looks like. How do you feel about the later game matchup here? Because Ursa is one of the better heroes against Medusa because of the buildup of damage that you have. And then he's also got an Omni Knight with him. Diffuser Blade also being very meta right now. You okay with the slower pace for LGD?
I don't really think so, to be honest.
Okay. Fine, Faith Beyond here. They immediately drop the Supernova. They need to be able to land a LSA on him to be able to keep him in range, but they can't quite get there. Ice continues to chase, but ultimately it's a failed play here for Evil Geniuses.
I just don't know if you can out-carry Dusa here. That's the problem.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to see a Scotty, and it's going to get really difficult to ever get on top of Arteezy when you're playing into multiple stuns, the lasso, the egg. There's going to be too much team fight to deal with from EG. Meanwhile, Psg.Ldg, all of their damage is like they're Mag and Ursa. Hang on.
Straight up, one-man RP, but it's on a big kill. Abed has been running around the map totally free, and they finally punish that.
If they can get into Roche, that would be huge. This is when the draft has to go. The diffuser's up, all right, it's go time. This is it, 60 minutes in, and yeah, I expect them to just pressure and force the Roche. The downside is that gank top that failed, now there's no egg, much harder for EG to contest in the pit. They're going to try, however.
Playing around it, Arteezy on the front lines here, trying to get the information, ready to go with the Stone Gaze once Roshan gets low enough. Really nice snake. They actually do manage to get a decent hook shot over there. They managed to finish off the Roshan without Arteezy going inside the pit. They're going to go ahead and drop Heaven the Grace and whatever else they have to make sure the team fight is fine for them. Evil Geniuses don't really have that much damage until Abed gets here. Maybe with a pullback here, they have the Grace. Status resistance is not enough to be able to save nothing to save his life. That being said, LGD can still be happy if they get everyone else out alive, but Evil Geniuses has really good pursuit as now they're going to turn on to Ice. The pure damage from the Enchantress, helping to bring down that tanky Dragonite. Ame and his first life is going to fall here. Arteezy needs to get out, though. Fortunately, with no hook shot anymore, don't think they have enough catch. And looks like probably both sides are just going to back off, lick their wounds, and continue to farm.
All right, so 1 for 1, but the age is burned. 2 for 2 technically. Abed did die to start the engagement. That was a pick off. Altogether, I'd say pretty even. All said and done. No egg would have really helped EG when Psg.Ldg tried to go up high ground, but I don't know if they expected the Dusa, but the GA is actually a really cool answer to the Stone Gaze. Yep. You saw it come out basically once Arteezy popped it. It deals with the bonus physical damage quite well, but more importantly, it allows you to keep committing even into Stone Gaze, not really fearing for any kind of turnaround. So no Dispel available for the side of EG, and no one's really capable of buying a Nullifier, so they're just going to have to deal with it. Yules, though, yeah, I was going to say, you talked to BSJ, the self-proclaimed Ursa expert. Yules is the hard counter.
All right, we'll see how they're able to use that. I mean, especially against an Omni Knight as well, right? Yules and that Dispel. Oh, nice two-man RP from nothing to say. A big opening. They kill the Phoenix first because they know otherwise he's going to dive away. And then they turn to finish off Ice, and then probably hit this mid tower.
Yeah, they're playing with the Centaur there too. Really cool concept. Just RP skewer back, double stun on top. Don't need the Aegis. This is still the time to go. You've got to take Medusa's towers, force Arteezy off of the triangle.
So the next 10-15 minutes, this is when LGD is really going to maybe end the game, but more likely just take a big enough lead that they're comfortable going later.
Top tower is under attack.
Because they also want to play as they are, you know, kind of moving across the map in semi-unison, because otherwise you just give EG opportunities to find pickoffs. They have a ton of burst damage with crit, who can then follow up on either Abed or Ice Ice Ice's initiation. So they'd like to find pickoffs more so than team fights right now.
They spot the ward. It's not going to last there for long. The Bat Rider, Abed, getting his initiation of Firefly onto Faith Beyond. They're going to chain up that stun with a nice Dragon Tail. Ame, he's going to have to hit the egg here. He might be able to kill it. The Stone Gaze is not going to be able to petrify him in time. The egg falls, but Ame is certainly in trouble. He's going to try and hop himself away, but Ice 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 does have that Blink Dagger. He has the Dragon form. He's going to be able to catch up to him, and Abed is even there for the extra damage. It's not needed, though. Arteezy claims the double kill.
Nice find there by Abed. Psg.Ldg a little sloppy. There was nothing to say. He was off farming somewhere, trying to keep up in net worth with the Dusa. And that's the way EG want to take fights. Get a lasso on the key hero. They picked off the Omni Knight before he could really get anything done. And they buy some more time. The one thing is, though, later on in the game, this is very much a single core from EG. You can already see it reflected in the net worth. It's Arteezy versus the world. Psg.Ldg, they will have two heroes that are pretty significant threats. Nothing to say on the mag. You don't really see this as often mid, but it is an insane hero later on in the game. Probably be the person that buys AC for his team, but I've seen some really cool builds with Bloodthorn, with Daedalus later on in the game. The Echo Saber style is nuts, and it will be BKB just after. So once he scoops that up, there's really nothing for him to fear on the side of EG. The one downside of the draft is that at the moment, they are heavily reliant on their magical damage, specifically the supports.
Yeah. You add in Heavenly Grace, which also gives you more damage because it gives you bonus strength as well. This mag can, certainly turn into a real right-click threat.
And that's the thing, I am actually starting to get a little worried for EG just because of their damage output later on in the game. Dusa is a threat, sure, but they're going to have a lot of tools to answer, notably the GA. So already, the main tool for our EG to take a fight is like, okay, we're going to egg, we're going to Stone Gaze to protect it. But at Psg.Ldg, if they just pop GA, they keep fighting. They can ignore it completely. And if you remove Lasso, suddenly Abed's hero looks really weak.
Look at how they wrapped all the way around. They 4-man smoked. At the same time, LGD did a scan on the entrance of their triangle. I think that was them. Maybe it was EG. Either way, EG wrapping around all the way to try and find an opening, but all of LGD's here. And now the Bat Rider's in trouble. Abed's going to get pushed back by the Cogs into the rest of LGD. And now there's blood in the water. Crit. He's probably going to be the one extra hero that dies here. Tries to line up an LSA, but nothing to say. You can see he is able to beat those supports to a pulp pretty quickly.
I think EG just realized, like, I don't know if we can actually do this, guys. Arteezy's getting closer to a butterfly, but I have become more concerned over the last couple of minutes because Psg.Ldg, their team fight right now is just too good.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's so much easier for them to take fights, whereas EG, you basically need a lasso or a DK to get a clean initiation on a target that doesn't have any allies nearby. Because if you don't find specifically the Omni Knight, the lasso is going to get cleansed off. And you have to also keep in mind that Jinkyu, he's going to do what he just did there. Counter initiate, not look to like set up on the hero he goes for, but more just carve the fight out.
Sure.
Push 2 EG heroes towards his own squad and say, hey, everybody else, come for me, man. BKB on the Ursa, BKB on the mag. It's go time.
They're going to smoke with this big power spike. At the same time, Arteezy is complete with his butterfly. They're actually going to jump onto the Magnus here. Ice 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 wants a piece of this, but Psg.Ldg, they're all here in force, and Ice 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 realizing that this was not a good idea. Trying to go for the RP. They do manage to hit the Medusa and burn him out of mana, so he's not going to be able to get off the Stone Gaze. Oh, actually managed to pop the wand, gets off the Stone Gaze as a result. Immediately, they do have it at the Grace, and Arteezy is going to have to just TP out rather than continue fighting. The rest of EG, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, well played. That EG could have lost a lot more there. They did not recognize that the whole squad was in waiting. And again, the BKBs, you saw moment Stone Gaze was used, GA. Look for that to be the answer as this game progresses. And now it's all about EG just stalling the game out. I'm not sure how much to believe in Medusa. EG certainly do. They've been picking it all throughout the DPC season as well. For a while, it was getting first 2'd over in NA. We saw it pick up in Eastern Europe as well, in the regions we were covering, Cap.
Yeah. It definitely proved to be overpowered. And then they nerfed it.
Yep.
Now you no longer have that big level 15 timing that people were buying Aghanim Scepter for. But now, Medusa's, again, it's that weird nerf thing. Well, I can't play it that way, but the hero's still good, you know? And so now it's just like, okay, I'm not going to mess around with this whole Aghanim Scepter thing. I'm just going to build carry items.
Yeah, the evasion came in clutch there, because otherwise I think Arteezy is 100% just dead. And yeah, you can even see, you wouldn't... Oh, took the evasion talent too. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's why he survives. So that's why the Stone Gaze gets off, because you combine that with the 35% from Butterfly. I mean, that's nearly half the hits. It stacks not additively, by the way, viewers at home. I do know 35 plus 15 is 50. Doesn't work that way. See, 45%.
Well done, Kyle.
Either way, now you have to be thinking about MKBs on the Dire lineup. I'd expect Ursa to probably grab one immediately. Maybe Nothing to Say as well, because otherwise you will have difficulties burning through Arteezy.
Nothing to Say. He literally blinks and pokes at Arteezy. Is he just trying to get a reaction to see what EG would do? That was interesting. Evil Geniuses have all pushed into the opponent's jungle now. LGD mirroring the map here. And who's going to blink first? I assume it's going to be LGD. After all, they want to be around the Roshan pit.
Indeed.
They re-smoke up, actually. Going again. This is the fight that determines who's going to be controlling the game for the next 10 minutes.
Great positioning from EG.
But they do have to come down from this high ground, it seems, as LGD are going to start hitting Roshan. Does Evil Geniuses not know about this? They're so close to the pit, and they're waiting for LGD to crash into them, not knowing that this Roshan has been going on the entire time. They realize it now, but it's too late. The Shard and Age has already been picked up, and now LGD, they can go into that high ground, and yeah, you can see it, Ame with this extra life. He just barrels on in with his Blink Dagger, already killing Crit. Looking at Arteezy, decides, maybe I can go for something else here. Oh, a skewer up into the high ground. Arteezy's seen this one before. He's going to have to TP away. RP on everybody else. They're going to be able to get the Dragon Knight. Ice, 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 and Fly, both sharing the same grave there as Abed and Arteezy are going to be the only survivors of that fight.
That is a class on how to well, not strategy really, that's just straight up tactics. Completely outmaneuvered over the last 2 minutes. Incredibly well done. Psg.Ldg, they recognize, okay, EG, they've established a position and vision on our own high ground, but we don't care. We just want the Roche. If EG want to fight us for this, they're going to have to pull themselves out of position and take us in a team fight that we're comfortable with, because we don't have to run up a high ground blind. We all know the nursery rhyme for every Dota player that they get taught when they're young and small, never to walk up high grounds without vision. So they don't do it. They just get Roche, free kill, Arteezy on the cliff, 10k gold lead.
Bit of misnomer, it doesn't rhyme.
I'm not everyone can beat Lacoste. We all have our strengths and weaknesses.
Fair enough. And yours is wisdom. It's come with so much age, and here is New Earth and Dota. Oh, Lotusaur! Great catch! That's going to ensure that that lasso doesn't feel good at all for Abed. Now, Xinkyu in his attempt to be able to help out almost dies, but actually gets saved by the Purification. At the same time, Abed does manage to make it down to the low ground just in time. A nice two-man LSA that also catching...
Oh, no, not again!
No, not again! Arteezy on the high ground, a Supernova right next to him, but they're all going to walk away from him. Arteezy's going to TP to the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. The rest of the Evil Geniuses are going to start backing away, retreating to where Arteezy is now. Ice 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 needs some help. They've got the Sunrunner trying to help him out again and again. Nothing to say. He puts him up there. Oh, Arteezy gets back down. Abed managed to force staff him up, but at the same time, this is really where Arteezy wants to be, as the Ursa is laying into him as much as damage, building up that Fury Swipes damage. Abed, he's trying to get him away from Arteezy, get away from my Medusa, but he can't. There's nothing that either this Phoenix or this Bat Rider can do.
That is absolutely unbelievable. The tips come out. Yeah, everybody, this guy, nothing to say. Somebody stop him. He's trying to win a game of Dota, like, for style points.
Look at Faith Beyond literally took the extra 3 seconds to replant this sticker. This is a mental assault that LGD is waging on Evil Geniuses and Arteezy in particular.
Man, I guess they learned their lesson from Ollie, the last major. This, you know, you can't beat EG on the battlefield. You've got to try to break their minds.
Yeah, get into their head.
How many cliffs will Arteezy need to walk down from before this game ends? At this point, Psg.Ldg, they're in total control. Ursa still in spitting distance of the Medusa's net worth, but more importantly, look at Nothing to Say on the mag. An absolute unit.
Radiant's middle
AC.
tower has fallen.
Yep, the Bloodthorn will be the next purchase. Makes a lot of sense in this context because you don't really want the MKB. However, Bloodthorn kind of does it, but better. And if you just RP Bloodthorn, there's no Manta, there's no BKB potential from Arteezy. He just dies to Ursa because of the built-in crit.
So I always feel like when you get Scotty on Medusa, it is a certain kind of power spike. Will that be enough for this Medusa lineup to now be stronger in team fights, or do you think LGD, they had the advantage until when?
Well, it's just, I don't know if they deal enough damage. I don't know how you're going to keep Psg.Ldg off of Arteezy.
Yeah.
Consider Abed mid, sure, but he should be compared to Faith Beyond, right, in the net worth. And then the other source of damage EG have is Ice's DK. He's behind clock. Compare that to, Ursa or Meg, you pick. Either way, that's the damage differential. And that's the problem for EG.
Yeah, the big team fight that they have is this Supernova, but I think every single time they manage to walk away from it, we haven't seen that really good, Supernova into them attempting to go for the egg, and then they get stone gazed instead because of Arteezy's positioning. We haven't seen anything like that. LGD just always backs up when the egg goes down.
Yeah, they haven't really been forced to commit. That's kind of what's missing from the EG lineup. They're banking on this idea that, we were going to start a fight with Lasso. Psg.Ldg, we're going to run in, we're going to have an egg down, and we're going to have all this chaos, and we'd win the fight, but they just don't have damage.
Yeah.
Clockwork, incredibly tanky.
Top tower has fallen.
Enchantress rocking a solar crest and a fluffy hat. BKB on the clock, by the way, so he's definitely not dying.
That's been a big play for a lot of these 4 positions. The early BKB pickup, seeing it from Earth Spirits. Oh, Abed. He got spotted by the flare. Smoke breaks, they know he's still here. They're using spider legs and everything. They have the hook shot, somehow missed.
Just a bit to the right.
Dire's middle tower
So
is under
close.
attack.
Either way, LGD still going to be very happy with the game state as they are up 13,000 net worth in a 20-9 score at 31 minutes in. And it's really looking like their lineup can rival a Medusa late game.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this dual core versus single core a couple times so far throughout the wild card. And I always feel like the dual core was winning. You could even see the main adaptation from Nigma was that suddenly they have 3 heroes all competing for upper net worth slots.
Sure.
I feel like part of the... Oh, hang on,
Abed. Scotty looking to slow him down. Abed's going to be forced to use the lasso. It's not going to last super long as Jin Q managed to stop the Bat Rider in his place. Ame continuing to hunt the squishier heroes here. He's going to look at Crit playing Ring Around the Rosie into the trees, but eventually he does fall down. Arteezy is up next to defuse a blade, slow him. They know Ice is not a threat whatsoever. They can all focus on the Medusa. And what is Ice going to do? He breathes fire, gets a couple of hits in. That's all he can do. He's going to throw it out the GA. They didn't need that. And I think Faith Beyond knew they didn't need that. I feel like this is almost taunting EG.
Did you see nothing to say hesitate? You know what he was looking for, right?
A cliff.
He was like, am I in range? He's like, not quite. If it was the old cliff, might have had it. Not quite the distance. Perhaps he could pick up the, just to make it easier for himself.
LGD are geniuses. They're not playing just to win this game. They're playing to break Evil Geniuses, win this series, and put themselves in a big advantage to be able to win the whole tournament.
Oh, was the old... Yeah, if he had the old Aghanims, he would have made it to the new cliff. Or the old cliff with the new Ags, it would have been fine. Either way, just a clinic from Psg.Ldg. This has been just really a treat to watch.
So looking back on it, what do you feel like Evil Geniuses did wrong drafting-wise? Or was it draft-wise?
Maybe with the bat, you can't also go for an initiator that lacks damage.
Yeah.
When I remember one of my favorite tri-cores, like what I consider the EG, back when they had Sumail and Fear, was AM Bat Brewmaster.
That was smooth.
Yeah.
That was smooth right there. Well done, Abed.
Yeah, if you have like a brew or some hero that's just unstoppable team fight, that allows you to commit for objectives, like, okay, we have the hero for pickoffs and we have a hero that can dominate a team fight. You know, maybe if it's a Mars, I'm really not sure. But maybe they just had to be more aggressive, right? Because ultimately, they both teams for the first 15 minutes played their own game.
Yeah.
Both sides farming ancients, farming their items. it just feels like what Abed was able to get didn't do anything for EG. And it's not his fault, but you can't really find pickoffs in a game like this, especially, you know, Psg.Ldg, they've been effectively 5-manning since they took the first Roche. And I don't know. Just playing better?
It felt like Evil Geniuses can actually team fight them, and it all comes back down to lack of damage. I agree. I think it's a Bat Rider plus Dragonite cores with a Medusa specifically. And like maybe if you had an Ursa type carry that does output tons of damage, then it would be a little bit better. But
maybe a little bit of a steroid, right? Like instead of a bat, if this is an Invoker, which is what we've seen Nigma first doing, suddenly the draft, you know, they picked the greedy core for ILTW as well, the Void, etc. But he has Alacrity later in the game. You have damage to throw into the Chronosphere, or in this case, to support your Medusa with.
Yeah, I thought something we talked about last cast was the fact that when these guys are drafting the offlane Dragonite, they're doing it with 2 supports that output a lot of damage, right? In this case, Phoenix, Lina, tons of damage there, but sadly, half the fights, crits being run down by the Ursa, the Supernova doesn't feel that good.
And you also don't feel good as Arteezy. He's buying a Nullifier because they need one. He just got hit by 5 heroes. They said, oh, I guess we'll GA, and they have nothing to remove it at the moment. Yeah, the Yols, but that doesn't help you continue to pummel damage in. I feel like LG have gotten like the last 15 kills in this game. I swear it was even until the second
Can we take a look at a graph here just to see the... Yeah, it feels like it's been very heavily dominated by
Tower,
LG.
Sentry Ward. Sentry Ward. That's not a good sign.
Hey, they killed the Clockwork.
And some wards. So yeah, 1 kill since, say, 20 minutes in. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah,
it's been better.
Smoke up. Psg.Ldg are going to make their entrance known. And Lina's going to have to force Snap away. Ice thought he was going to come in from behind and do something here, but instead he gets ripped apart. Is that a Blood Thorn or something? My goodness, Fly. He's going to be able to get off the Supernova. Right is nothing to say. Was looking for that skewer on Arteezy. But again, Supernova goes off. They all cleanly retreat. There's nothing else going on. Shin-Q is actually going to go back in with his BKB to be able to kill Crit. Crit also buying back now. They needed to. Arteezy's in trouble right now. They put the word on the high ground. Fly trying to Sunray himself away. That's not going to happen. The back lines, DK actually jumping onto the Omni Knight. They throw everything they have, but that's not very much damage at all. Faith Beyond still good enough to be able to get up Purification, Heaven the Grace onto Ame, who chases after Abed. They just do not have enough. They, again, committing for Faith Beyond, but they're going to lose heroes off of it while failing to get the kill. Wow, another jump in from Shin-Q. Hook shot after hook shot. Arteezy being engaged, and once again, there goes the Guardian Angel. They just, everybody 5-man on top.
They're all full health. They've killed everyone. Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
The whole team bought back. I guess they got Faith Beyond, but he was immediately back into the engagement. Just straight up outclassed, it feels like, but really a lot to take away from this. Having a game plan, hitting a power spike, both with the defusal timing into the first Roche, the double BKB into the big team fight middle. They did an excellent job being efficient throughout.
spray.
That was...
Top tier. Taking a
Honestly-
moment to make sure it was positioned properly.
If people weren't already Faith Beyond fans, they're just wrong.
Yeah,
But
they are now.
you should be, because that was excellent. Top tier memeage right there.
Where do we want to start with this game? We had an Omni Night offline, of course.
Well, I actually have a thought on the cliffing.
Okay.
I actually think Arteezy positions really aggressively in fights because he actually outputs a lot of damage in fights. And
Yeah.
because he positions more aggressively, it's easier to cliff him.
I think because he gets clipped so often that the enemy team looks for opportunities to cliff him
I'm with Effie on
more
this.
than they would
That is true,
any other
actually.
player. I think anyone who clips Arteezy feels really good about it.
Yes.
So I think there's definitely a factor there.
I'm playing a major, but the memes. Think of the memes.
Think of the memes.
Everybody will know Faith Beyond after today. That cliff, the spray, the word's gonna spread more than it already has.
I'm just waiting for him to get cliffed on these recaps.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
It's
for
gonna
him.
happen. It will happen.
Yeah, so something I want to comment on actually about this game is the way LGD moved their heroes around in the first 10 minutes of the game. I thought it was really cool because, okay, shout out to Fly, number one. He sentry blocked Magnus's small camp really early on into the game because Magnus is going to suffer laning versus Batrider if he can't have his small camp to farm after he pushes in the lane. So Fly was just like, I'm going to take it away from you. So the Magnus actually goes jungle around minute 4, and then Clockwork takes mid and leaves Omni Knight solo bottom, and they were just like moving very interestingly around the map like that really early on, and it worked for them. So EG actually had the winning lanes,
Yeah.
and they got that top tower really early on, but it just they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, and I agree with what Kyle said, right? Like, he said that EG is pouring so many resources into Arteezy. It's the same thing this game, but he's on a hero without any real timing now. Like the old Dusa with the 15 talent and Aghanim's unnerfed, like that was a real timing you could get, and you could turn it into like, okay, it's time for me to give back to my team. At no point in that game did I really feel like Arteezy was like, guys, let's go. I'm ready to carry. It was, sorry, go ahead.
I was just agreeing.
Okay.
Go on.
I like when people agree with me. That's nice.
I agree. Well, I can't disagree with you. You wanted to guide, just Kathleen.
Medusa was the overall last 24th pick, if you will, overall last pick for EG. We kind of questioned it already then, right? Was it just not the right game for this hero? Like, was it a problem of the hero? Was it a problem of how Psg.Ldg played around it?
Well, the thing is, as I said earlier, even when Medusa was absolutely busted with her before they nerfed her level 15 talent, China was not banning that hero. They figured it out really early, and their favorite hero to pick against it was actually Ursa. And they would rush the defusal on that hero and just like run into her triangle. And they've been doing it on almost every Chinese team throughout the DPC. And it got to the point where teams stopped banning or picking Medusa. They just stopped trying to contest it because it got figured out that early on. So picking it after it gets nerfed versus a team that already has a way to play against it.
Little bit of either arrogance or unpreparedness, maybe?
Or maybe they thought they could just do it because like Aoi said, they like the hero. They've played it a lot. So maybe they were just like, whatever.
I mean, when you come to these lands, you're basically pitting your idea against your opponents, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really know who is left or right until you actually do it.
You gotta actually play it out. And even scrims, I guess, are not the hard answer.
They give you more data points. They can like help shape your model, but it's not like concrete. And we don't know how EG did with Dusa and scrims, right? Like they have more information than us. But EG have been picking this hero like the entire DPC season. Like even going back to season 1, I think they 2-0'd Undying with this hero. But yeah, no, it appears like, I think you're right. How China dealt with this hero was really good. However, I think EG's problems in the draft actually started even earlier than that. I like to spam a lot of 4 Lina myself, but I think picking Lina into Enchantress sort of felt a bit off to me already, because if you have an Enchantress as a 5 or 4, it's sort of hard to put Lina mid already because it's very gankable. She's a very susceptible hero, in low, whatever. And then you don't actually want to play Lina 4 against Enchantress, even if you do slightly win the lane, because Enchantress's map presence is just really good versus Lina. That being said, like I don't think it's like some game-ending thing, but then the draft kept going, and then they picked this like Batrider hero against Magnus. And the idea, if you pick Batrider versus Magnus, is that you're betting that you will win late game versus Magnus. Because you think like, okay, late game, I'm going to have Lasso. We're going to start the fights in a good way. He won't get good RPs. If you compare that to how LGD dealt with TNC's Magnus, they saw Magnus, they're like, okay, we're going to go DP, Bloodseeker, and I forget the last core because my memory's terrible. And they dumpstered the Magnus like the entire game. And you don't give them any map to farm with the Empower. You know, even though they have Mag PA, they're down like 15k really early, and LGD take the entire map and just like secure that game. EG's approach is like, you have Magnus, and we're gonna farm versus you low with like Deuce a Batrider. It doesn't sound right to me.
So you feel like EG came in with an idea that was flawed compared to the idea of Psg.Ldg here?
I mean, like, because like the thing is, like, your idea might not even be flawed completely. It's just like in this specific scenario, your idea doesn't work.
Okay.
And it's like really hard to differentiate between that and Dota, because oftentimes like one hero can completely change it. Like maybe it would have worked if there wasn't this Omni Knight.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I haven't seen Omni Knight this patch. I don't even know what his buttons are called apparently. I call it Repel. So,
I called it the thing you put on people.
yeah, the thing.
The
W.
thing,
Because like this
yeah.
hero's not picked this patch.
No.
And then you'd see it and you're like, okay, like even if you play 10 scrims against similar lineups, like we can beat Ursa with Dusa, we'll back up with enough team fight. He has to go for the Phoenix egg, he has to go for Dusa, he's overloaded. But Armanite, all of a sudden, he's buying enough time. He's heavenly gracing the Ursa. He's using GA to stall for it. All of a sudden, your idea of the game is completely different. You look silly in the draft and you lose a game. But that's Dota.
That's Dota. So it's all about adjustment then, Effie. What do you want to see next?
More of this variety. I really enjoy watching LGD just because, like I said earlier, it feels like they have a plan ready for anything their enemies like to play. They didn't even hesitate on that Omni pick. They were like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're
really
ready.
did.
They probably talked about it. What do we do if they pick this Medusa hero? And they already had their Ursa. They were already ready for that. They're like, boom, okay, we've talked about this. It just feels like they've come into this major really prepared. So that's their biggest strength, I would say, outside of how good they are individually.
Of course. And with
I was gonna say, and how cool Faith Beyond is putting the Arteezy sprays. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I just loved he went back to fix his spray.
yes,
it wasn't
I
Reclare.
mentioned it, but I would love to mention it more because that was the highlight of the
Okay.
game for me.
That was so funny. That was so good.
Yeah, I love to see that. More of that. It gives a extra personality as well to the squad. They've been on fire. Also, slight spoiler alert on the other stream, I believe. Spoiler alert again, just giving you time to mute if you don't want to hear it. Team Nigma 2-0 VG Gaming, which means that EG's chances of making it to the upper bracket are a little bit lower. EG versus Nigma, has that already happened?
No.
Is it going to happen tonight?
I said that very confidently, but I have no idea.
Is it going to happen
I think
tonight?
that's
It's
I think
next,
that's game
it's next.
4. The
I
fourth
think that's
set.
game 4. Oh, that's going to be
Yeah.
so hype. Okay, sorry. Yes. But that's getting ahead of myself. But that means that this game is all the more important for EG to win game number 2 here because upper bracket, that's where they want to be. And if they want to be there, they got to get more points. Psg.Ldg is on the road to being the top here, though. So it's a tough ask. So in terms of plan number 2, plan B, game 2, we said EG strong suit is the laning stage. Do you want them to double down on that, or do we want them to have that, but maybe a better plan going into the mid to late game?
Like I said earlier, I think they need to pick different heroes because it feels like they've already prepared for what EG like to play.
So you want them to go out of the box?
Out of the box.
Something that they haven't played before this major, perhaps. Like if there's a strat that they can pull out, this would be the time.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I completely agree. I think, to be honest, like I have really high expectations as EG because I'm North American and like they're all we got except for the fact that they're second in our region. But like I think EG is like they're almost lazy in their preparation for this tournament. I feel like their style hasn't changed. The heroes they pick are pretty similar to the DPC. I haven't seen anything that's like EG really want to win this tournament right now.
Well, as a reasoning to that, EG is one of 4 teams that is already qualified for the international.
That is true.
Do you feel like that would make a difference?
They probably are not that invested compared to other teams, but LGD is pretty much qualified, and they're
That's true.
They're busting it all out. Like they're
I will say there is some merit to like not like EG are still gonna try. It's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna have this as a throwaway tournament, but there is some merit to not going like, oh, we're gonna boot camp for this major for a full month, put in
Sure.
everything, because you don't want to burn out for TI. Because at the end of the day, like these majors matter, but it's all about TI.
Yeah.
I don't think they're not trying though. Like they're definitely trying. Like it's unfair to say that because the other team played really well, and it's not because the EG didn't try. It's just because they got outmaneuvered and outplayed on the
Yeah,
map.
but they're not going all out, right? I mean, like RTC has like 7 pubs in his last 8
know.
days on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. Like he's not like they're not like spamming the games that you would if you're trying to win a tournament.
They're not pulling an ILTW.
Yeah, exactly. Like Alex W, he wants to win. Like that's some burning fire passion.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's pulling an ILTW.
How does he play so much Dota? It's
don't even know.
unbelievable. He just does not stop playing.
He doesn't need sleep or something. I mean, that's the only solution. And it's paying off. Like, the team is crushing it at the moment. So, and EG, we're going to see what they can do in game number 2. We are ready for the draft for game 2 between them and Psg.Ldg. We got EG on the Dire side this time around and Psg.Ldg Radiant side. And, we got a couple of bans in already. Mag and DP ban on the side of EG. We got the Nyx Assassin left in the pool because Psg.Ldg banned out Timber and Enchantress. Other than Nyx Assassin and Ancient Apparition, any other heroes we should be looking out for?
10
Mars?
seconds remaining.
Mars, yes,
I
absolutely.
think the Mars Lion opener has actually been the most
5
successful one
seconds
this
remaining.
entire tournament, unless I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I don't have the stats for it, but
I
it
think
looks
that's
super
what it
strong.
was. Yeah,
I have
it's
stats
pretty
on
decent
Mars.
He wins a lot, but when you pair him with Lion, he especially wins a lot too.
Yeah, he is the most picked hero this major, 32 games, 63% win rate.
And that's like generally with Mars being in the first phase. Like there's a very big difference between a cheese hero having like
Yeah.
a 63% win rate and a hero in the first 2 having that.
Yeah.
Because you're literally supposed to be against 5 heroes you're bad against and you're still beating them all.
That's actually pretty impressive, but I think good Mars games don't really... It's not about who he's playing against, but it's about what his team is playing.
He just,
so-
his toolkit is so like robust and easy to play with, right?
And he's very flexible in where he can play and how he can play, but what I mean is you can enable your Mars through your picks, and it doesn't really matter what he's playing against.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you pair him up with like these AAs or these snaps or
10 seconds
these Phoenixes, like you give him a good Mars game even if it wasn't before. So I think that's why he's so
5
popular
seconds
as a
remaining.
first.
Yeah, he also just, he's like a strong laner. He gives teamfight, he gives stun. So it's basically what you're saying. Like everything he gives is something you want in every draft regardless. So that's why he's easy to pick, right?
Can't really go wrong with it.
He's also playable mid,
Yeah.
which I don't think has been done that much this tournament, but he's actually quite good from that position.
Also, his arena is not that high of a cooldown, which is something you really want out of your offlaner. To give you team fight, to be tanky, but not to be a high cooldown hero like Tidehunter. That's why I'm not Tidehunter's biggest fan. I just feel like Ravage is way too high cooldown.
Yeah, I also don't like Ravage.
Even when Arena, yeah. I heard you're a legendary Tidehunter, so you don't have to worry. But even when Arena is on cooldown, Mars is
10
still a
seconds
pretty useful
remaining.
hero. He can wave clear very easily, and he can set up for kills with Blink Spear.
5
So you're
seconds
not
remaining.
dependent on Arena at all.
And Mars AA, I feel like, is in every team's wheelhouse right now. So EG keeping the draft very light. And on Psg.Ldg side, we got an axe. At one point, like there could be carry axe.
Yeah, they've played it in both roles this game.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if they busted out mid just to...
Just to make sure that they do all the bases, all the
I
cores.
mean, this team, apparently, they're like a meme team. Like, they've been doing sprays everywhere. They're just doing it for the boys.
I have a question. Meta.
seconds
Big
remaining.
brain question.
Okay.
Okay. The goal is winning TI. Very simple,
How
right?
we would know.
Yes. So when you know that you're playing for winning TI, how much emphasis, with these two teams, they are, well, EG obviously is guaranteed TI, Psg.Ldg most likely going TI. How much emphasis are you going to put in creating heroes that teams will have to ban against you so that come TI, you'll
10
always
seconds
have
remaining.
2 bans that people will have to ban against you so that you can pick
5
whatever you want
seconds
other than those 2 heroes? Like, how many mind games are going into that, or is that too far-fetched?
Are you?
I mean, the idea's not, like, out of this world.
But,
But usually that's, like, Broodmother IO
yeah.
techies. Like, the real
The
cheese
heroes that other people don't play.
Yeah, like, it has to be something that differentiates you. Because, honestly, like, if they pick Axe on 3 rows, I'm like, okay, they pick Axe
It
on
could be
3
the
rows.
Omni Knight.
Yeah, but Omni Knight's not like a... Like, if you pick a cheese hero, it has to be like, I drafted it, what up now? And like, teams are scared of dealing it. With that said, like, LGD actually does play techies, so I would have been... like, if they wanted to do that, Jinkyo is like one of the best techies in the world. But, because I'm thinking about your thing now. It is something. Like, specialization is important in Dota. But yeah, I don't know how to answer it, to be honest.
Maybe too far
It
fetched.
was very meta.
A little bit too meta,
Yeah.
perhaps.
And it's interesting to think about for sure because teams are still first banning IO against Nigma.
Yeah.
Whereas they're expending their first bans versus other teams on heroes like Nyx Assassin or Mars or Ancient Apparition. So when you're playing against Nigma, you've always got that IO first phase and that frees up a hero. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean that opens up the draft a lot for the teams as well.
Is this the first game with Nyx like unpicked and unbanned?
Must be one of the very few games.
It's
yes.
pretty good for EG here.
Yeah.
It's good versus Phoenix because you start Sunray, and it should be good versus Lina.
Also,
Good versus Axe.
Yeah, it should be, I think, because, you know...
Spike Carapace into
Yeah,
the
exactly.
counter helix.
Yeah.
Also, EG loves the spirit heroes, which Nyx tends to counter.
Yeah.
So that removes that threat already from the draft.
They ignore it. All right, so in terms of bans, we got a couple cores on the side of Psg.Ldg with the Terrorblade, the Ursa, and the Storm. TA, Clock, and Elder Titan removed by EG. And the Lina this time, of course, on the side of Psg.Ldg. Could still go multiple roles as well.
I
I
can
can
for
see
sure.
this. I can see this as a 4 Lina or a mid Lina, but I would like to see a mid Lina because nothing to say is Lina's insane.
Yeah, I think if you see 2 range supports, I think putting your Lina mid is really good. Generally, the range supports aren't going to be able to gank her. And in a pure 1v1, I don't actually think there are any matchups that Lina loses.
That's a really good point, actually. And AA and Snapfire are not heroes that gank mid very easily in the
Yeah.
first place. Like, they do suffer rotating.
So
They're
here's-
kind of follow-up heroes.
I'm actually so shocked that Nyx got all the way to the... What should I call it? The 4th pick?
Fourth
Am I
pick
supposed
for
to say LGD's
Psg.Ldg.
4th pick?
Yes.
So many words, though. I don't like it.
I know, I
I
know.
don't like it.
It's not efficient at all.
Yeah.
Is this 19? This is 19.
No, this is...
19?
Nyx
this
Assassin.
would be 17.
Whatever. It's hard
Okay,
to count.
okay, so for PSG's 4th pick, they got Nyx Assassin. This is after the first... Go ahead, Sheeves.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Nyx Assassin has been picked 16 times because he's been banned so many times. 69% win rate.
Nice.
Good
Yeah,
for him.
and this is with the Nyx Assassin. I think in every single one of those picks, it was first 2. So it's a 69% win rate while being first 2'd, which means your other heroes are also as a counter Nyx.
Maybe they weren't so concerned about the Nyx because they aren't going to play this into core mid.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they sort of wanted to bait this hero because they had to know that LGD was going to pick it.
For
And you
sure.
can see like DK, okay, we have to deal with Lina and Nyx. DK is actually a hero that's good versus both of them. I'm not actually 100% sure about how the lane works. I know before the water runes came, sometimes Lina could spam out even a DK from lane if you went 2-0-1. Or I remember Bravo would sometimes try to go like 0-2-1, and that was like you win this lane so hard.
Psg.Ldg's turn to bat.
However, I do feel like this hero is strong enough that even though you play against this Nyx, he's still a strong hero.
I agree, but I do think she's the main source of damage in Arena. at
They
the
have
moment.
AA Blast. I think they should be able to burst off this AA. I mean, because the thing is, like, you can cancel the Snapfire ulti, but you'll still get 3 hits off, right? If you're throwing at range. So, like, a couple hits of Snapfire ulti with the AA ulti, I think any hero should die. But you won't get, like, this insane ulti against the LGD lineup because of Nyx. That's true for sure.
I think their team fight gets skimped a little just by the lack of... No. You can-
So is there, like, some counterplay you want EG to do to that? Like, maybe that means they have to find a Nyx first, because they do have tools for that.
I think they can just play Snapfire for the rest of her hit, you know, like
Okay.
her shard or her axe or whatever. She does not have to be ready for her ulti. I just think that she was a big part of their team fight being
Yeah.
scary, and now she isn't so much anymore. But it's like you said, she does have a very useful toolkit.
She does, even if she didn't have ultimate this game, she would still be a good team hero just because of Phoenix, right? Just because you'll be able to use her.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know any skill in your third spell to kill the Phoenix egg.
Little Shredder.
Thank
Fire-
you.
oh,
Little
yeah.
Shredder.
I can't
So I
read.
do have a comment on Wraith King. I actually don't like this hero so much when he comes out versus low cooldown heroes like Axe and Lina and Nyx. I think his biggest strength is when he tanks a Chrono, or he tanks a Doom, or he tanks a Ravage, and there's not really any big cooldown that he's playing for. He's just
No.
going to be played on the merit of
Yeah, that's true for sure. I think his ultimate
the
is
rest
lower
of his
value.
kit.
However, like when you think about AA as a hero, I think he also enjoys having
Laning with
a hero with a stun.
There's
That's a
setup
carry axe.
for
Dark's
sure.
here. Okay.
That's an Ame X again.
A carry axe with a vacuum. That's actually terrifying if you hit that combo because it's so much pure damage coming out.
When we saw it in the previous series, though, on the lane, it kind of fell flat.
Well-
Did they have enough to catch up this time around?
He got 3v2'd in that game.
Yes.
And then I think like as a hero, Axe should be really strong as a safe lane. Like Battle Hunger is one of the best spells for helping you support on the side. But I mean, I don't know. Nothing to say has been a beast on Lina. So even if his lane does go badly, I think he does.
I don't like the Wraith King. I just want to say it from now. I understand picking it to lane well with AA, but last game, they won their lane really hard. Faithbian was a solo Omni Knight, but they didn't really turn it into anything, really. So
Yeah, and
I'm
I
just
think
gonna
you're
say that
right.
I'm
Like
not a fan
LGD have a
either.
lot of sustained damage, right? Like the Iron Shell, Lina spells have low cooldown. Even if you're saying basically like you tank the stuff, but then they have more once you revive,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't have like the normal effect of the Wraith King. I think that sounds right.
And do you remember how I was talking about how Batrider likes to play with heroes like Nyx Assassin? Mid Lina is very similar to that because she does rush the BOTs, and Nyx Assassin loves to set up on side lanes. So I can see them just out maneuvering them through the map this whole game.
So you don't really believe in EG Game 2?
I'm not a believer. I could be wrong, but I don't like it so much.
Actually, I mean, I think I like EG's draft more than last game.
Okay.
And because I'm from NA, I'm going to say EG's going to win this one for the
Right,
boys.
yeah.
But I think a lot of the weaknesses in EG's draft that Effie mentioned are like, now that you mention it, they're like, ugh, I'm a bit scared, you know?
Too many holes.
At the same time, like, it is like an Axe Lina core. Like, I don't know if it's because I haven't seen enough of this, but the cores on LGD are experimental, and they are a team that has like gone too far at times.
That's fair. That's fair. They are a bit experimental, but I believe in them.
Okay. Well, it's game 2. As said earlier, EG has a lot to prove with this game in terms of getting that point so that they still have a chance of making it to the upper bracket of the playoffs. We're going to find out if they can take a game off of Psg.Ldg or if Psg.Ldg will continue to be on top. We're finding out together with Cap and Kyle.
他们说什么我也不会去。
Yes, let's find out together, shall we? AUI, of course, biased towards evil geniuses, like always, Kyle.
Yeah, like most of his fans,
说什么我也不会去。
gotta have copium.
说什么
Yeah.
我也
You
不会
watch
去
EG play too many LAN events, and I'm just hoping RTZ doesn't find himself stuck on a cliff today.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough go-around that he had last time around. That nothing to say. He's got his number. Let's jump into the game, shall we? Because I know the teams are itching to be able to have a little bit of action as they're moving around, smoking about, trying to make some plays happen. So the LGD versus Evil Geniuses, game 2, kicking off here. And look at that. We're all in the river. Just as the bounty runes are about to spawn.
Nice skewers. XD.
King of the Hill. I like that from Faith Beyond. All right, bounty runes spawning. Looks like we are just going to have a 2-2 split here. Nothing major.
I will say I'm happy that Dota's a game where people feel comfortable to all chat. I think that voice lines and all chat voice lines specifically add a lot to the game, and I think it's kind of what's I don't know. You ever watch a basketball game close enough to hear? You know, there people are talking. Sports aren't silent. Neither
Yeah.
should esports.
Yeah, absolutely. If only the next step, we could actually get a little bit of their in-game comms. I know teams will never accept that, but the rare times we do get to hear some of that, I think it's very special. And it's fun to be able to learn about the teams. Mid matchup, Nothing to Say versus Abed. Lina versus Dragonite. We've got Nyx Assassin and Darkseer up there in the top lane, matched up into the Wraith King, which I think is a hero you can actually kind of pressure. Especially since he has an Ancient Apparition, who I don't view as the best laning hero in the world. Mars Snapfire bottom lane against a Phoenix and a Carry Axe. What's your take on Carry Axe, Kyle?
I'm not sure. Haven't seen it enough to have a firm opinion one way or another. I think it's solid. I think especially when you pair it with a Darkseer, it's kind of terrifying, to be quite honest.
Yep.
I think the Lina is going to be more important just because that's your only real source of tower damage. So I think nothing to say he's got to pop off, because otherwise, if he's just like running around with the Yules too late into this game, I don't actually know. They don't have any real right-click threat.
Jinkyu, they're being very aggressive, sir, and they're gonna kick the crap out of you. If you get a little bit too far forward, it does healing salve up, so he'll be okay.
And the Battle Hunger spam. This is a pretty tough lane for Ice Ice Ice. Just getting constantly Spirit Hunger spammed.
At the same time, Axe doesn't have a whole lot of good starting armor, and you already had the Blightstone, I believe, pick up from Crit.
That's true.
You had a little Shredder on top of that, and he actually can't really tank hits very well. So, yeah, this is definitely a battle where I feel like both cores are going to feel a little not the happiest, let's say.
Yeah, and Abed off to a great start middle as well. This is a somewhat skill-based matchup, but realistically, DK should win it. You have the Quelling Blade advantage. It's actually tough to last hit as Lina because you get that attack speed up from the Fervor, but when you tank the Dragon Breath, your last hit damage is significantly reduced, and DK almost always can out-hit you. And of course, DK now with the free runes will still getting a bottle early. Typically in the past you might play without it, just double bracer.
Oh man, looks like he got very low. Just as we're talking about both the cores feeling the hate of the opposing support, both of them taking a lot of harassment here. Ame will miss out on a bit of CS as a result of that. Bottom lane, or top lane rather, Faith_Beyond, they go for it and they manage to get the first blood, just barely. Killing Fly before Faith_Beyond ends up falling. And Jinkyu, ooh, nice use of the Spike Carapace. He's gonna get stunned up here, and Arteezy not actually backing down, reading the fact the Ion Shell was coming up. Ice 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 gets burned out bottom lane as they manage to get the kill finally onto Ame.
I don't think he'll mind too much. He got his gold spent before he died, and he kind of needed to heal anyway. He was out of regen. He was too low for a Ring of Health to play too much of a role in his lane strength. So top, that was a bit surprising, but it's really tough for Fly to play this lane if he tanks a stun with Ion Shell nearby. When it gets pushed up near the tower, that's when the Darkseer starts to thrive.
Yeah, and I think Darkseer, he had this revitalized laning phase when Vacuum started being an ability you could actually level in lane. And so now you paired up with these Linas, Nyx Assassins, Clockworks, and this Vacuum feels so much better as they're going to be able to, there it is. It's just the extra little bit you need to be able to get these kills.
Yeah, and this is very dangerous now. All of a sudden, they're just diving Arteezy.
Yep, Arteezy is very likely dead here. Let's see if he can juke it out somehow. He does have 9 magic wand charges, so maybe he's actually good as a Whiffed Impale goes out. He jukes to the left, but the Ion Shell on the Faith_Beyond actually did manage to get a tick onto Arteezy, kind of showed him the way, and ends up finding carry of the evil geniuses.
That's huge. Yeah, they kill Phoenix down bottom, but this is getting dangerous up top. The trouble with AA in this spot is that you have no method of getting back into the lane.
Yep.
You can't go push a wave. You can't really gank anywhere, so you're just now a stack bot. You know, he'll probably look to do that soon, but the other thing is EG don't really have anything that can clear stacks too well either.
Watch that one again. Yep, nice cookie into spear combo. And I guess we'll watch Arteezy die again in a way. Arteezy is going to die again,
wait, was
by the way. That is not a replay. That's just a bit of deja vu, so he's going to have to do the walk of shame.
And remember, like Yep, we were saying they picked Wraith King not necessarily because of the game, but for the laning phase. And if you're getting bodied in the laning phase, suddenly things look grim.
Honestly, I think teams should be looking at this and keeping this combo in mind whenever these teams early pick Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's supposed to be Ancient Apparition is paired with the Wraith King, Sven, Troll.
Yep.
Like those three heroes to make the Cold Feet work. And they're just showing how to body it.
And EG won the lanes last game, still got wrecked. Right now, Psg.Ldg arguably ahead in all of the Mobed. Slight CS lead, but I'm once again worried for EG's damage output. And yeah, Fly is just getting solo killed by an Ion Shell and an Nyx Assassin. Arteezy's in the jungle.
Yeah, he's done with the lane. I don't blame him. I don't think he can do that anymore. Ooh! Ooh, man, LGD, they're off to a running start here. They're going to need Crit and Ice to do a lot of work. Once again, Ame abandoning the lane relatively early because that's what Axe can do. A little bit different than, say, the Wraith King, who you don't really want to abandon the lane this early. You want to get those higher level of skeletons before you do that. Crit going for the kill here onto Y. The spear isn't quite enough.
Didn't latch.
Didn't latch to anything. Maybe they could have gone for another right click before throwing out the spear, but they thought they had it. Top lane tower dead by 7 minutes.
And noticeably, Faith Beyond, I've seen a lot of soul rings on the Darkseer. He went for bottle into Arcanes. I actually like that decision. It's part of why they were able to pressure so hard. He got the fresh bottle, and then they just spammed ions, dove with the wave. They've killed a tower and, what, 4 or 5 enemy heroes in less than 7 minutes. This is insane for Psg.Ldg, and they're now denying Arteezy's jungle.
Ame tries to come out of the jungle to defend this tower, and it's a good idea, too. Even with Abed here,
Vanguard.
They are, kind of running out of damage because of the Vanguard. The rest of the TPs coming in from LGD. Xin still looking to catch up to Ice. Drops a Sentry for a little bit of vision. Actually managed to get a Spike Carapace back on the spear. And then the Dragon Slave finished him off. And LSA stopped Dragon Knight's damage. They do manage to get the cookie. That'll kill Xin.
Yeah, that was actually just perfect from Ame. He goes to the woods when he might be a little susceptible to getting killed by that exact rotation and comes back with a Vanguard. So Raindrop, Wand, Vanguard, he straight up has no fear because once again, EG's damage output very limited at the moment. It's concerning. You know, I don't think EG's playing poorly by any means, but Psg.Ldg, they are on one today. Have looked excellent thus far.
7-4. Does feel like the laning phase is a bit of a disaster for EG. LGD is up by just 1,000 net worth. That's a lot for the laning phase, but it hasn't spiraled too far out of control, I guess.
And this is the concern: is we're watching a Wraith King jungle a Midas, and I've seen this in NA matchmaking, but typically you don't see it as often in the international Dota 2 tournaments. Ame. Did he skip Blink in the series before?
Yeah, he went Vanguard into Manta, into the Shard. Nyx Assassin setting up. They're gonna see if they can kill Arteezy and take away the reincarnation. I'm wondering if they feel like they can go for him twice here. Xin is certainly setting up for it, but then the Ancient Apparition shows himself. That's fine. Reincarnation level 1 is a huge cooldown.
Oh yeah, and they get the Wraith King illusion too, so that'll be Ion Shell. That'll steal some camps. Really just trying to slow down the farm.
Bottom tower.
Good idea all around. Man, great stuff. LGD looks great.
Yeah, and Darkseer in a game like this just feels so fun. You have your top tower dead. You've got tons of space. You're gonna just stack, grab runes when necessary, but you have a partner. Like LGD, they have all 3 things you love when you're a Darkseer. Multiple stuns that you can vac into. A support that you play with in the laning phase, and then assist to find kills later on, and then also a core you can Ion Shell, Surge, and play around. So everything that you need, plus a great start to the game. Looks like he's getting the hood first. We'll probably make a pipe at some point. Very effective. We mentioned already how the magical damage of EG support is going to be key for them to win, but if you can negate the entire Ice Blast and Nyx Assassin can interrupt the cookies, suddenly those heroes just fall off. And once again, EG, lower damage output, all 3 strength cores, mostly reliant on stun CC combos to find kills. And unfortunately, all 3 are behind their enemy counterparts in terms of net worth.
Yeah, all of a sudden, 3,000 net worth lead for LGD. Now, this feels like... I was wondering, I was like, how is it only 1K? Yeah, this seems a little bit more realistic as Psg.Ldg are moving on out with the Nyx Assassin. It was just looking for anybody.
It was deceptive because Psg.Ldg had stacks.
Oh, Ice.
What?
I don't know what that spear was, but he's dead now.
Yeah, EG, they've been just farming jungle this whole time, but Psg.Ldg, like, they had an ancient stack, they had a couple stacks that Ame cleared, so suddenly they're feeling fine. And yeah, this is how you want to play it. Look at the warding. They just kind of suddenly shift themselves upriver and now take enemy ancients and save theirs for later, because if you can deny these camps, it's a real natural extension then to take mid tower, as they just did. Nothing to say picking that up.
So for the copium of the fans,
yes,
LGD, or excuse me, Evil Geniuses should at least have better late game, right? Lina, Axe, Darkseer cores.
This new Axe shard is serious business. I think I think it won't be the last time we see this. It is not a meme. This is a real thing.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know how well it scales. Like if we get to 50 minutes, sure. You know, at the end of the day, it isn't scaling damage. So we'll be best around that 20 to 30 minute mark.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
But yeah,
attack.
he's rushing pipe. I love this move from Faith Beyond. You've got plenty of mana just with Bottle and Arcanes. So he's spamming Ion almost off cooldown. And this effectively gives his entire team plus 400 health when they take the first team fight. And the base 10% magic resist.
Give him the Iron Shell and watch him go.
Dire's top
Nyx
tower
Assassin.
is under
Not going to go for the
attack.
Dragonite. That's a hard kill. Go for crit instead. That's an easy kill. Or is it so easy? He needs a little bit more. The wand crits. Tries to feed a cookie over the Dragonite, but that's not going to help him out. Now Fly. He's going to get caught by Ame, who is waiting on the high ground for him. Gets the call. Gets the kill.
This is, again, Dream Darks here. I love that play. You're pushing top, you're taking all of this farm, and then your Nyx Assassin just says, hey, Ion Shell me real quick and throw me a Surge as I TP, and it sets up for now not 1 but 2 kills because the rest of the squad's already there. It's just really well done by Psg.Ldg. You can see JJ drew a little line on the map just kind of demonstrating the crease they're now pushing EG into. All of a sudden, they take this little lead, and it acquires map control. Yeah, the ward on the Dire Ancients was neutered, but they still have total control of the map.
That was cute. Faith Beyond dropped his bottle off because it was an illusion rune for a core Axe. Best rune for Axe by far. That's easily going to give him an extra 300, 400 gold, and that's going to be 300, 400 gold that Evil Geniuses is also going to get denied from them, as it's going to be inside of their own jungle. The Ice Blast coming in. Shinkyu does get hit by some of this. Ice is looking to be able to catch him with the arena, and they do. Nice by Carapace. Will stall the death, but eventually he will indeed die.
It's a lot of spells. AA, Blast, Arena, DK form. Meanwhile, an Illusion is chasing Arteezy out of his own jungle. This is just the gold advantage still going up for Psg.Ldg. Like, I have no personal bias here, but it just feels like Psg.Ldg is nuts. Like I'm trying to think about how could they play this game more efficiently. It feels like they've slowed the pace down a little bit, but they're still out GPMing, and it's to get their next core items online. They've recognized, look, Arteezy has a Midas. He's not going to be a threat for a lot of time, so we have the opportunity to chill a little bit. Let's make sure our moves are measured. Probably get the Manta, and then you'll look to see them just take aggression, or just go right now. They do have Egg. Pipe is ready.
Dire's top tower
honestly.
is under attack.
LGD, they could just keep this going. No big cooldowns that they're forced to play around besides this Supernova. Lining up on Ice. He is using the Hood of Defiance to pretty good effect, but eventually he's going to be caught by a stun and then brought down pretty swiftly. Faith Beyond dominating for him. Arteezy quick to try and push out as rapidly as possible. Is going to go for a Radiance, which is kind of an interesting idea against Darkseer.
Okay. I think this... Almost EG, I don't want to say they look lost, but I've seen this at Arteezy before. When in doubt, your team is kind of falling apart in terms of their early to mid-game execution. So just minus Radiance, and hopefully...
When in doubt, farm it out. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But you make a good point. You're a pretty easy target for a vac wall. Faith Beyond is pretty damn tanky, so I doubt you're going to pick him off at the start of a fight. It's very concerning, but you know they're not out of it.
Actually going back for Soul Ring.
It's the most efficient, you know, drop the Arcanes, pop Soul Ring, or Backpack. Man, I wish I had one of those, TI5.
Oh, man. What could have been?
Indeed.
What could have been?
That game was over anyway. This one, however, is not. But EG, you're going to have to stabilize. I like how they've done this just de-warding mission on their own side of the map. You can see 8 sentries currently placed all on their end of the river.
Yep.
Makes sense. You have to clear this bottom triangle to just have any hope of being able to recover. They're still bleeding a little bit in terms of the net worth advantage, but that's just natural when Psg.Ldg have 3 cores that all loves to shove waves.
Well, it's about to get worse. Axe Manta now means that more of that, like that one illusion rune that went and took all their neutrals, now that's going to be happening constantly. That was Ame's entire idea. Every single Manta illusion he popped, I just watch him and they'd run into the enemy jungle and take whatever neutrals were available there.
Yep. And they have great team fights still waiting. Have we seen an egg yet?
Dire's
No, we haven't.
tower is under attack.
Thanks, JJ. You know, we missed out on Ice Ice
Yeah, I saw
denying
that,
the
yeah.
Supernova. That was sick.
That's the typical, you know, game over, but nothing to say isn't the only one who can acquire style points, but
Yeah.
definitely well done. What, Lena, I guess, did he go Yules first? Yeah, just Yules into BKB. That's a slight, or was it even a miscue? I think he might have seen a peep there, either a Vortex or an enemy hero, so better safe than sorry. He just BKBs and walks away.
Sure, that's fair enough. I mean, that is one of the things about mid Lena, and I used to talk about this with whenever we would watch Limp play mid Lena. It's like you can get ahead really easily, but the danger is you can throw away your lead.
Oh yeah, you just die all game if you get jumped on, and EG have engineered a draft that can do that quite effectively. A blast on top of one of their many stuns.
Spear into Mortimer's Kisses. The Ice Blast, it's not going to be enough. They don't have the damage. Now the 8 goes off, but Ice is alone here, and he's going to be pulled right back into it. The stun goes off. Crit is waiting to try and give him a cookie out of here. In fact, he actually doesn't need it. Psg.Ldg weren't really gunning for a fight there.
Yeah, the one downside of the Psg.Ldg draft, though, they don't really have the best tower push. Mentioned that in the start of the game. It's really just Lena that can right-click effectively, so you can see that they're shoving waves. This top tower is exposed, but clicking it is real difficult. You know, Axe isn't exactly gonna siege very well.
No matter how unsure you are about the late game potential of LGD's lineup, it's guaranteed that their lineup, if it does compete late game, it has to have a net worth lead, right? It's
definitely
one of those kind of lineups. Lena, great example of that. Darkseer, big one as well.
Abed off to pretty nice start there. Finally going to be able to clear out this mid tower.
Or are they? We're going to leave it at a sliver of HP. Abed blinking away. Ame denying the mid-tier 1. Hey, Innocence? He's around here, but man, the last time they tried to go on him, they realized he was pretty tanky. They're going to try for it now. Ice Blast going off. They will not have a Snapfire, though. They're trying to finish him. Innocence does die, but so does Crit. They're going to have to TP away here. No stuns, so should be fine.
It actually gets killed by Jin Q because he made a call for the offensive play on the Snapfire. So rather than run away, he turns uphill, but of course, Invis DK. Nothing you can do there, 1-for-1.
Blink Dagger now online, so I'm expecting this game to pick up a little bit faster pace for Psg.Ldg.
Yeah, just my fear, if you're an EG fan...
I guess you just have to wait for the shard. It's not even fun.
Exactly.
Sorry.
But everything's on pace, right? Like, you think about what was the game plan for Psg.Ldg. They've gotten everything that they wanted. Like, they own top, the Darkseer activated, the Nyx Assassins, NQ is owning, and you have this timing where about at 20 minutes exactly, Ame will have the gold for shard and all the items he wants beforehand. So this is the draft. They've been able to play it the way they wanted. Now it's a question of, does EG think that they have an answer? Is this Radiance going to get Arteezy into the game fast enough?
Radiance minus phase boots. Man, it's not very tanky.
No, and the concern is, you know, again, Psg.Ldg, they don't have any huge spells with the exception of the egg. A lot of quick disable, so they kill him once, maybe with an egg on top. Another BKB, slightly early, but nothing to say. But you can see he recognizes his fragility. Like, if he gets popped, he will just die. So has to ensure that any Blink DK stun would immediately be BKB'd. He is the main target for EG because, again, he's really their one source of real physical right-click damage.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the greatest source of damage that is most likely to be killing the Wraith King in that first life. And then if they put the Supernova over the top as he reincarnates, he's 100% dead again.
Yep. Now they have 2 stuns, Call, Yules. It's just all about finding an EG hero. And EG, they've done a really good job. Again, the vision control. We haven't really seen Psg.Ldg get any vision on the EG side of the map for a while now. So they've stabilized. You know, that gold lead's still firmly in LG's favor, but it's not moving. It's all fine for now.
Yep.
And Arteezy, because he has the Midas Radiance, he's starting to keep up. You know, no matter Ame or nothing to say, he's going to be able to farm equally. But he has to be cautious because we mentioned the Darkseer wall can be troubling when you run Radiance. But the Nyx Assassin, you can see him having to toggle it off because if he ventures into the Nyx Invis and there's just a Carapace, he'll be immediately stunned and it's the easiest kill you'll find.
All right, time to do Roshan. Pure damage of the Axe coming into play here with the Manta.
Okay, maybe Axe does do some pretty significant right-click damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, this hero, when he blinks on you and then he pops Manta afterwards, seriously, I was astonished so many times at how much damage he could do.
Dire's
This
top
is
tower
not a
is
joke.
under
This is not a meme, and this is real.
Oh yeah, I forgot because of the free attack speed too.
Yep.
That's a lot. Yeah, attack speed, 35 attack speed, 5% proc
Dire's
chance.
top tower
Yeah.
is under
That's
attack.
that's very good.
Now just imagine if that was 10% like it used to be. Ooh. He was just always spinning. It was terrifying.
The attack. I mean, consider a glove of haste is 450 for 20 attack speed. So just for that, Shard really only costs what, like 700?
Yeah,
It's like
700, something like
yeah, it's like half price for the benefit of the proc chance and then the added ability of spinning on attack. So pretty solid. Yeah, we're gonna see this more often. Zinq.
Abed actually blinking the smoke and blinking away. Blink. He breaks the smoke and blinks away. Blinking. There you go. Ice. Also going to do something similar, almost getting caught by the vacuum. TP away. Nobody of EG getting caught. Yeah, I want to see LGD like actually get a win here because I'm getting slightly concerned, not majorly, but slightly concerned that EG hasn't been caught in any of these moves yet, and the net worth hasn't spiraled any further. It's now gone for 7 to 8K in pretty much the last 7 minutes.
Oh, nice smoke break.
Nice, Q. Great positioning by him.
They got a great ward now as well behind tier 2 bottom. And keep in mind, they still have outpost control.
They're gonna poke at his Dragonite. Doesn't have much Manta. They do have the arena, which Q actually runs into with a Spike Carapace, stunning up for a moment. Now the Spear actually catching a Darkseer illusion. They do have the Supernova that gets popped by Crit, though. He reads it perfectly. On the big jump in, though. Managed to get the Calling Blade. He used it on the Dragonite. That finishes him off. Crit's gonna be up next. He needs another swing, though. Isn't quite gonna be able to get it, it looks like, as Crit looks to slow him down with the Solar Crest and run away back to the safety of his tier 3. A buyback from the Nixons. Ah, got him again. There it is. Ame blinking back in to hit the Culling Blade that finishes off Crit.
And Shinkyu is just playing unbelievably.
Oh, yeah.
He breaks the smoke, he tanks the brunt of the damage, juked a bunch of abilities too to ensure EG had to blow more cooldowns. They did a really good target switch onto the egg to pick it off. But you could see the Darkseer illusion of the Wraith King was instrumental in finishing the kill on Crit, so that all Ame had to do was blink forward and execute with the axe.
Radiant are scanning.
BKB soon to be completed. Yeah, just firing on all cylinders. EG once again having some pretty significant damage issues. They need more items. They're DK and Wraith King specifically. Ice went for the hood first, so he's going to drop off. It's just the nature of the hero.
Yep.
More about the mitigation at the moment.
All right, so now they've got control of the Dire jungle because they've gotten the tier 2s. They've taken the outpost. Now they're able to kind of like freely invade the triangle. Evil geniuses are going to find that net worth starting to spiral quite a bit because there's just not too many places they can push out fearlessly anymore. This LGD, wouldn't be surprised to see them make another move, honestly. There's not too much to really have to wait on, just the Supernova. BKB now complete for Ame, isn't even hitting that level 18. He's going to hit level 18 and level 20, which are pretty big spikes for an axe.
He's farming so fast, and he has so much more freedom due to the map control, so you can see him just kind of lonesome walking through the woods, jungling with Manta. EG, they're forced to hold hands.
Yep.
Yeah, DK split pushing, but everybody else backed up behind Arteezy. They know something's coming.
Arteezy does have the BKB with the reincarnation, but Ame managed to find the initiation here, and that's going to be on the Mars. No arena here. Arteezy immediately forced to pop the BKB and teleport out. So much damage. He's been pulling bladed up, and watch the spins go. Woo. Ame axe.
They're just going to walk high ground.
Yes, they
He
are.
bought out, right? He doesn't have a buyback.
Yep, he
just
bought out
finished
a
a
BKB. He just used that BKB. They know about it now.
Are fortified. Dire's
Oh my god, they are just bodying EG. You know, on the other stream, Nigma just 2-0'd Vici in like 39 minutes, both games total.
Yep.
Psg.Ldg, it's going to take a little longer, but looks like they've got EG on the ropes and haven't been challenged, honestly. Like, this is nuts.
It does feel like these two teams are a step ahead of everybody else in both the wild cards and the, well, in this case for LGD, the group stage.
And this is what you love to see. Cut the waves.
Yep.
Don't worry about meeting it
They're
necessarily.
mass TPing. They're actually going to try and catch him because they know he's a little bit
13 seconds.
isolated here. 13 seconds for an Aegis. Okay, BKB TP out. He knows he's in danger. He would have been slowly picked at until the Aegis actually expired.
Abed doing his best ice, ice, ice impression, dropping the bottle, try and bait a cancel.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Learning from the best.
One of his
Going
mentors.
forward, Arteezy,
No.
he doesn't have reincarnation. He's going to be pulled back. Nothing to say. They don't even need the Laguna Plate from him. Now the Supernova's going to go out. They may be inside the arena with an Ice Blast, but they cannot force the commitment here. Nothing to say. Pop of the BKB, giving a surge, and doesn't really give a hoot.
Yep.
Ame? Oh, he could have caught up to them. He stalled for a second there to wait for his team. Trying to go for a blind blink call. Trying to get the spear into the tier 3. They do manage to do so, stunning him up, but the wall's going to be laid out. This team fight feels a little awkward. Ame's just going to run right back ice, ice, ice as he's turned into a puddle by Y.
Faith Beyond everywhere once. Perfect walls, great vax, and always there to surge the ally most in need of his support. Again, EG, just no damage, especially with Arteezy dead.
Yep.
Dire's bottom
Yep,
tower is
yep,
under
yep.
attack.
It seems like LGD. Would you say, so AUI said something interesting. He said he felt like LGD changes their draft based off of what the opponent is weak against in some way. It feels like they are not one of those Chinese teams who keeps strict draftings, but they change and evolve based off of who they're matched up against.
Yeah, and in this case, it looks like they've addressed EG's tendency to all in on a single core with a very solid dual core lineup that's focused on peaks between 15 and 20 minutes. Like same exact concept. Sure, the heroes have changed, but ultimately it's the same idea, right?
Yeah.
Get an early lead, get an early Roche, take map control, out farm, and just have this overwhelming damage advantage and win the game before the huge carry of EG can become the one-man wrecking machine. And in this case, they even dominated the lanes. Last game was a much more troublesome laning phase for them, and it took them a little longer to recover, but here it's just, they're casually, look at the map, you know? Think about how it was for the first 10 minutes, pretty much even. Then they moved the crease up a little bit and started taking over EG jungle. Now they're saying, we're gonna ward and keep you in your base. Good luck.
Crit in some trouble. Impale is going to go out. Now the rest of Evil Geniuses was smoking over. Crit finally dies, but they missed out of the arena execution. Oh dear. Ice. They're just going to stall him out. The rest of Evil Geniuses, they've given up all hopes of taking a team fight now. They're once again trapped inside their base.
I got no words, Cap. It's just, how do you get back into it if you're EG? Unsure. You know, we talked about the damage issues. I question whether you want both your DK and your Mars to go hood first. When you already have these damage issues, you can see Psg.Ldg, the defensive items, like, come on. Yeah, Darkseer bought a pipe, but he had plenty. All he needs is mana to sustain his net worth, right? He's an Ion Sheller. That's his job.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Solar Crest Rush on the Phoenix, you know, offensive-only items for the other two cores.
Axe Illusion.
Yeah,
Cutting a creep wave like that. He's now got an AC. They're going to be able to do the next Roshan. They do it very quickly, again, because of Axe. He's now level 20.
389 CS in 29 minutes.
Yeah. Everyone else, once you get the Manta Axe, everyone else is allowed to hunt and stay off map constantly because of what Manta Illusions do for you.
And the best part is you don't have to show.
Yep. Exactly. Culling Blades being used on Arteezy for his first life. He's going to come back in with a BKB. They actually managed to find the lead up. With no BKB activated, they can actually kill. Down for 80 seconds. The Mortimer Kiss is doing some amount of work, but Arteezy's dead. They're trying to finish off the egg. They get it. Ever so barely, but a 3-man stun with the vacuum comboed up. The arena is now going to be laid into play. Ame's low. Ame's dead, actually, and Evil Geniuses have won this fight. They're going to try and finish up by killing Shinkyu, and should be able to, but it looks like Fly is going to die to Arteezy's illusion from the Darkseer wall.
Well, EG, they did what they had to do. They killed the Lina.
Yep.
I counted them out. Perhaps a little too soon.
I don't think they can
find
do
the right
Roshan, though, without Arteezy. This would be great if like they won a team fight and they could go Roshan, and all of a sudden the game, it becomes competitive. Maybe they're still going to try.
They do have
Solar Crest, little shredder.
They have an advantage. You can see them pinging the outpost. Well played. Ice 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 is going to go grab it so that Arteezy can TP in just a little bit closer. They have no tier 2 towers, and also they lost the mid-racks, so...
Just something about that. Faith Beyond's like just trying to pull him out of the pit, just to slow him down a little bit. Yeah, they can't do it. Just the Phoenix and Darkseer alone.
When did they lose the mid racks?
What they went mid earlier. Like as Roshan was spawning, they after the pick on Mars, they killed Crit and then they killed Mars and then they ran it mid and just took it. Okay, go. I know. This axe is befuddling.
I'm just following the illusions around. This is the timing, though. They got one fight, now you need another. Reincarnate's back up. They have to follow that same MO. 15 on the Reincarnate, but you have to kill the Lina. You have to kill the Lina pre-BKB. That is your fight window here.
God, and it's so hard because if you're all inning on the Lina like that, it's just like a dream opening for Faith Beyond to hit just this gigantic wall vacuum. Maybe there's a call over the top. Like, call and super. Oh, they make the jump in. They manage to find the Phoenix. That one's pretty good. A nice call from Ame. Interception, but it's not enough for Y to be able to get off his ultimate. He does have a buyback, though. There goes the call. There goes the wall. And Colin played one after the other. Now Ame's going to be the last one left. But actually, RTZ coming back on his second life, but it's not going to be long. There's so much damage. He just dies in an instant. His second life is like his first. It doesn't do a damn thing. And Crit, okay, stop that Sunray if you want, son, but you're dead. The Evil Geniuses, well, they're mostly dead. They're going to give up Roshan and maybe even a second lane at Barracks.
Faith Beyond, man. It's a dream Darkseer game for reasons expressed, but he's also has the luxury of being able to be completely ignored. You know, e.g. they have to go for the Lina. They have to think about Ame. So he's just getting, look at this. He's just chilling. Look at him all the way over in the corner, hanging out. I'm going to surge myself. He pre-clicks wall, hangs out, vacuum on 3. He gets all the necessary cores. And now you have a level 18 DK illusion and an RTZ. It's just reincarnate, reincarnate. He's dead.
Every single time he's popping the BKB, and he's like, it'll be okay. And then the pure damage of this axe.
Yep. Love this too. The Lincoln's on nothing to say because he recognizes as long as I don't get stunned by DK, I'm going to get BKB off and we're going to win the fight.
No, that's a great point. Okay, so second lane down. Evil Geniuses now left with one more team fight in this series. If they lose here against LGD, their chance of being upper bracket slim to none, I think.
Yeah, especially after the performance from Nigma so far today, would put them in a scenario where they have to get at least one, probably two, from their series later today.
Sun being thrown out, man to dodge pretty easily, and meanwhile, nothing to say, just popping his BKB and using that. Oh, burnout, ice, RTZ reincarnation. He goes down, comes back up, and Ame is there for the secondary kill. This is just a monstrous shellacking here, Kyle.
Yep, they got one fight.
Stuff.
One fight, they got nothing out of it. Psg.Ldg respawn, wiped the floor with them. 2 consecutive team fights in a row. The Ame axe. I don't think it's a meme. I think we're probably going to see this again.
Yeah, I mean, LGD themselves are saying it's not a meme by picking it up.
reveal. You have to,
So,
He sure
and
did.
but yeah. No, it's true.
Anyway, they would have clicked on him, I'm sure.
yeah.